A lot of issues have been happening on the political front, and key amongst the development is some comments made by the moderator, the outgoing moderator of the Presby Church of Ghana, Professor Rev Martey, and he revealed that the Deputy Interior Minister, that is James Agalga, lobbied him to be the chair of the National Peace Council. Now, according to him, the Deputy Minister told him that some people in government, including the Interior Minister, had agreed to back him for the position. Addressing a gathering at the Abetifi Presbyterian College of Education, the outspoken cleric said he turned down the offer because he did not want any political appointment, and he also indicated that Mr. Agalga also asked him to convince other people who might be on the board so they could approve his nomination if presented. And that issue has been in media circles and has been discussed quite widely. We have two gentlemen in studio with us. They're going to be looking at that issue, and then also would look at other issues regarding politics. Let me quickly introduce them, then we'll go into the discussion. On my immediate left, we have Dr. Clement Apak. He is head of Citizens Complaints Unit, the presidency. And then also my far left, we have Ibrahim Ejay. He's a member of the New Patriotic Party's communication team. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
And thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon. You left out the fact that I'm a parliamentary candidate.
Yes.
For the NDC in Bulsa South. Apologies. Very important.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So would go straight to the first issue that has to do with the outgoing moderator of the Presby Church. That is a direct issue he has raised, saying that he was contacted and was being lobbied to be a member of the National Peace Council. Is that something you can confirm or deny? Has it come to your knowledge?
Not as far as I know. And indeed, I have not had the chance to speak to James Agalga, who is the member of parliament for Bulsa North. Right. So we are neighbors, and we are actually we are related as well. But be as it may, I think that we need to sit with this conversation in the broader context. It will not be proper to just look at the so-called recent expose or revelation without looking at the broader context of what I would describe as even a lot more questionable and potentially reputation damaging revelations attributed to the outgoing Presby moderator. And I make reference to, the clip that you just played, where he is alleging that somebody from a certain political party sought to bribe him with an amount of money, $100,000. They made a promise of a four-wheel drive, a house at a plush area of town with a swimming pool. And yet he feels or falls short of mentioning. And I think that is where a lot of public citizens and commentators have found fault with him. Because if you have the courage to put in the public domain such a damning allegation, and yet you don't complete what you have started, it then raises questions about your own integrity
and
back to whether you can believe in what you claim.
Okay, back to the issue of the National Peace Council. Do you know how the selection or election of the board members or the head of the National Peace Council is done?
Well, I have never been a member of the National Peace Council, but at least I've also served on a constitutional body which perhaps may have similar arrangements. I mean, I used to be a member of the National Media Commission. And as far as I know, within the context of the National Media Commission, also a constitutional creature. When the board is constituted, the commission is constituted with the membership from stakeholders and other groups as prescribed by the Constitution, then the commission then meets at their first meeting to select through a ballot to vote for the person that should chair.
Should be there.
Okay. So in my case, for example, Cabral, the former Ambassador Cabral, was the one who was elected to be the chair of the National Media Commission. Okay. And of course, that was the second time that he had been selected.
Okay, let me bring in Ibrahim here. After the first allegation of bribery, The moderator, like he mentioned, was accused of falling short of mentioning who was going to bribe him. In this case, he has mentioned a name. Is that something you would want to commend or applaud him for, at least being bold to mention the name of who did that?
For sure. I think Rev Martey, without any contradiction, is a man of integrity. As much as some people, Martin, may want to somehow downplay what he's recently alleged.
Right.
I mean, across board. And he doesn't care where the knife falls. He will call a spade, or as we say in Ghana, a Sophie. Do you get me? So for him to mention the name, I mean, that's it's commendable. On the issue of the $100,000, that has been, how can I call it, been confirmed by the PRO, that indeed that quantum of money did take place. And it was by what? An opposition party member, am I right? And if you go to 2013, the year in which this thing happened, and you quickly Google, you'll find that Rev Martey was castigating the corruption in the NDC John Dramani Mahama government. So if there's an opposition party, definitely will not be NPP. The other opposition parties that are there are who? You have a PNC.
So it's not out of line that the NPP seem to be endorsing, because there are those who are saying that the NPP's seeming support of Rev Martey is because this particular sword falls right on the head of the NDC. You'll
find that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP, we support anybody who pushes the agenda for trust and integrity in Ghana.
Right.
So when you support that kind of initiative, it's not that it's a party status quo. I think it's the national status quo. And it so happens that the NPP's default setting, Nana Addo's default setting, and across board, I mean, you have those who are on the other side. And let me speak for His Excellency, President J.J. Rawlings, saying that as for Nana Addo, that man is incorruptible. So when Nana Addo is speaking to issues of integrity, and the party likewise is supporting what Rev Martey is saying, then of course, I mean, I think Ghanaians are in tune with that kind of reasoning.
Okay.